Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Thanks for joining me today as I continue to share some beautiful card ideas you can make with the October 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Cozy Christmas. Here's a quick peek at the original cards from the kit. If you'd like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, or see any of my other alternatives, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. With the contents that you need to create one set of cards, I have made 8 alternatives. And there is a cutting template that you can access and download, and I will link that below in the description or on my blog, creativechelsey.com. This is the third alternative card idea I'll be sharing with you this week. This card uses the Ornament die to create a symmetrical design. I love cutting up small little details so I can place them exactly where I want them, and then use the leftover pieces on other cards. If you're new to my channel and would like to continue to see all of my paper pumpkin alternatives, make sure to subscribe using the link in the bottom right corner. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you're interested in getting your own paper pumpkin subscription, please use the link in the description below to subscribe. All right, so if you have looked at the cutting template, you'll notice that there's a section on the envelope. So this is the back side of the envelope. And we're going to, it says to trace and fussy cut out the ornament. And so you're going to do that with either the large or the small. This one doesn't seem to be fitting. Let's see if this one does. We're going to flip it over to the back. Yeah, that fits better. So I'm going to use this small ornament here, and you're going to grab a pencil and you're just going to trace it out. And if it doesn't need to be totally perfect, you can see here that I've already cut a little bit of this ornament out. I do recommend flipping it over just in case you do accidentally trace on it. And then you're just going to cut it right out. Now, this little seam that is on the back, you won't even notice it because of all the other little details on the card. So don't concern yourself with that. If it bothers you, you can always use the front of an envelope, but just so you know, I do use the full front for another card. So that might just become an issue. Okay, so to add this to my card, or to each other, I'm gonna just add a little liquid glue to the bigger pieces. The smaller, more detailed areas, I'm not gonna worry about. And this does go just barely inside. So depending on how you cut it, there might be just some small little gaps that you see, but it should be pretty good. See, there's a little gap right there, but I don't think anyone's going to notice it truly. All right, so that piece is ready for the card. I'm going to start my card by adding the red pattern piece to my red cardstock. So I know that maybe you don't see a lot of that pattern piece, but I do like just that little bit of pattern peeking out from around the white larger piece that we're also going to add. So you'll notice that this has been removed, the center piece. If you're not sure how to go about doing that, you can watch my alternative number 2 card that will show you how to do that. Okay. Let's next move to stamping on our white. So this is a white rectangle that comes in the kit. I haven't cut it or anything. I'm going to stamp it with pecan pie and the little snowflake image that is in the kit. So every kit comes with a stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it once, and then I'm going to stamp it again. So I get a dark and a light. And that is a pretty inked up pecan pie. For my other card, I thought maybe I had used a darker ink, but this one's pretty dark. Okay. So just kind of randomly, wherever you want to stamp those. This we're going to add with dimensionals to the center of our card. So there'll be just a little border of that red background pattern showing. Then we're going to add our ornament. And I've also placed that with dimensionals. And it just goes right in the center. So we're creating kind of a symmetrical card here. And so you do want to try to get it right in the middle. Now I'm just remembering that we want to add this green strip across. And since I've already glued this down, I am going to just tuck it in on the sides. So I'm going to start by just cutting it. Let's just kind of eyeball it. So I'm going to cut probably right here and right about there. Okay, so I'm just cutting out that middle section that would have been underneath. I'm going to give it a little bit of a fishtail banner. So this is a 1/2 inch strip by 4 inches. If by chance you cut it a little smaller, because my template shows it as being the same size as card number 2 strips, then you can always cut it and separate it like I am here, and then add it with a little liquid glue. You're just going to tuck it right here. And I'm actually going to flip it. The pattern, I want it to look like trees. So pop it right there. Have it maybe come out just about to where the white is. So keep that in mind. You do want it to come out a little further. There. Okay. So it can just look like it goes through. It doesn't actually have to go through. I am next going to add some of these little details from the ornament. I'm going to cut out, let's see, 4 of these ones here. So there's 3 on one side and then 1 on this side. And it's okay if it's got a little bit of that basic beige border. All right, with those cut out, I'm going to go ahead and add a little drop of liquid glue, or you could use a glue dot. These are just going to go right in the corners. 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and then 1 on each side. You can bring them down. Tuck the base of these little green velvet details underneath that oval. So cute. So the last thing we're going to add is a little joy die cut. And this comes from the Abundant Joy dies. There are 6 dies in this little pack, and they are so fun. I've used them a bunch on my alternatives. So definitely consider getting them if you have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to use these little mini dimensionals to add this die cut to my card right in the center, just like that. So cute. If you want to add some of the Wink of Stella, you can do that. I'm going to kind of open this up, lift this up a little bit, add a little Wink of Stella to the red ornament there on both sides. Just a little, add a little glitter and shine. If you want to also add some to the white, you can do that too. You could also add around the center. You could do this before as well. Maybe add a little inside. There we go. Very fun, beautiful card. Quick and easy to make using the contents from the kit. Oh, the last thing that you'll want to do is add an inside piece so that you can write a little message. This piece is a little smaller. I cut it to be the same size as this white piece so that we're kind of bringing the layout from the front to the inside as well. Again, you can do some stamping here if you want. I did do a little bit to show you an example of something as well. So those little snowflakes, and then to the world with joy on the front and to the world on the inside. So that's a great idea. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this card today. If you're interested in getting your own paper pumpkin kit, please subscribe using the link in the description below. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how I created this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.